All right, we do have Patricia Visagie on the line. She was with the President and other members of the ANC Top Six visiting hotspots today where we've seen foreigners and South Africans clashing, and of course the family of slain taxi driver Jabu Baloyi. Patricia, run us through the events of this morning, please.
Good evening, Francis, and to our viewers. Now, of course, you would know that just over 2 weeks ago, of course, news made headlines countrywide after taxi driver Jabu Baloyi was gunned down in the Pretoria CBD. So today, the President, of course, joined by other senior ANC officials, and that includes the SG Ace Mahashule and, of course, the Deputy Jesse Duarte, and they were flanked by other ANC members, regional ANC leaders as well, as they went to the family home to, of course, just pay condolences and respects and see what support they can be giving the Baloyi family. But the highlight was the President saying that the slain taxi driver Jabu Baloyi is a hero. He lauded him as a hero who fought against the scourge of drugs in the country, saying that he actually stood up. He realized that there was a problem and he stood up in honor, of course, of fighting against this problem that is crippling the lives of a lot of youths here in the capital city, in particular even in his own community, Sosha Nguve. So it was a very brief meeting with the family. The President also at the very same home met with taxi leaders from NTA and Santago, where of course he tried to engage in dialogue with the local taxi leaders to see what peaceful steps can be taken to, of course, stop the ongoing tensions in the capital city. Amongst some of the taxi industry members who have expressed concern over the scourge of course, drug abuse, and also, again, asking the question who is, of course, behind the murder of a slain taxi driver Jabu Baloyi. Francis?
So, Patricia, later in the day, we saw him preaching tolerance about foreigners. He was booed by some of those crowd members. We've shown the visuals in Ekhuruleni. Different scenes in the morning. Of course, he was interacting with the taxi drivers who've blamed foreigners at some point for drug dealing. Was he preaching tolerance then? How was that received, if at all, by the crowd that he interacted with?
Okay. Francis, I was really battling to hear you there. There was somebody speaking over my ear, but I understand briefly that you were trying to talk about his next meeting where he went to meet with, of course, the local taxi drivers. He went to a nearby taxi rank, of course, in the Pretoria CBD, the Prinsloo taxi rank, where he met with scores of taxi drivers and taxi owners. And that particular taxi rank is not far from where the slain taxi driver Jabu Baloyi was actually gunned down. So there he went and he again asked for, of course, a calm, and he asked for, people not to turn to violence and really respect the rule of law. So it was, of course, some of the taxi drivers not really agreeing with him. It was a tense gathering there as he tried to, of course, address them, but everything seemed to have gone without any incidents or any violence. But of course, many of them not agreeing with the President that South Africa belongs to all who live in it. But the President giving the assurance that they will do whatever it takes to eradicate the scourge of drugs in the country as a whole. It's back to you in studio, Francis.
All right, thank you very much, Patricia Visagie. We take a short break and then we'll continue on the theme of tolerance. The EFF saying it wants to ban